Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now.
How's it going, guys? Just wanted to come to you today, give you another option for the Slim Shady series. This is the double tungsten Slim Shady. What I've done is I started with a 200R, in this case a size 20, and I put on two 1.5 millimeter beads on here. And what I did was I smashed down the barb first of all to make sure that that makes it easier. You might struggle getting these on, but that's because these beads are so small and that bend of that hook in the back end. So I put the small opening as normal on this side, and on the back one I did it opposite. So the larger side is right here, the smaller side is on the back. And what I'm going to do here is start with my same thread, my light brown 8/0 MFC thread. I'm just going to put a little bit of thread up front to stop that bead. I got to have a little bit of space for those legs and to finish off up front. So I'm just going to put a little bit of thread there, and then I'm going to whip finish and come back to the behind the second bead there. I'm going to start my body here. I'm going to kick this up just a little bit so it gives me a little more space. And again, on the normal Slim Shady, I'm tying split tails in there, and you can do that here. I'm going to change it up a little bit and put in a little bit of Coq de Leon. It's a popular feather, and it's popular for a reason. It's really easy to tie in. It's got nice coloration. In this case, this is the dark, and you can certainly do the split tails on this pattern. I'm just going to go ahead and tie this in to keep it a little thinner. So I'm going to tie in, a dozen or so tails. You can go lighter if you want to. I'm just going to get those so they're out the back end right there. Once I have those set, just put on your thread wraps, and on the back end just kind of kick it up a little bit just to gather and kick right there. So that's fine. And then continue on as normal with your slim rib, in this case the brown with the light brown body. I'm going to bring that and shorten that up right in there. A couple good securing wraps there, and then I'm going to stretch. Before I do that, I'm going to untwist my thread. That way it lays flat. Come in here, wrap back to the body. Make sure I give myself a little bit more room there because these beads do eat up a lot of space. So once I do that, I'm going to wrap, stretching, and put a few wraps in there. Once I get up here, a couple wraps, and then 3 wraps in the back side, and then a few wraps right up front. Then I can clip that. So once I get that in there, make sure it's secure. And the reason you want to put that is because you don't want those beads to jam up front. And sometimes if you don't put enough on there, you get to this point and you put a few wraps and those beads scoot forward. So this is where you'll find out if you didn't put enough wraps in the front end. So I'm going to put in this case right here, this is a brown coloration, so I'm just changing it up a little bit again. This is, you could use the black, but this is medium holographic tinsel in brown. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. And on the legs, again, change it up on you guys. Doing 12 fibers of the shrimp pink Flouro fiber. And again, it's just to change it up, give yourself a little bit different look. This is more of a PMD type pattern in this color scheme. So you can do a couple things. You can skip forward if you want to around the beads, or you can come in here and whip finish it. So let's go ahead and put just a whip finish there, and then we'll jump back on the front end with our thread. So it keeps it a little cleaner, but either way it'll work. You should want to make sure you get that thread secured, and then build up that little ramp up front. When we bring those legs over top, we want to bring them and have your thread right behind the eye. Put a couple wraps there, and as you can see, this thorax is pretty long. Not too long. but long enough. So then again, come in here, split your legs, make sure you got 6 on one side and 6 on the other if you're doing 12 fibers. So I'm going to do a couple wraps right there, and then bring your brown tinsel right up on top, and a couple wraps maximum right behind the eye again, and then bring that back and wrap. I'm going to put one more right there closer to the eye, and then I can secure it a little bit better. Couple wraps on your whip finish there because we're going to coat it, and then come in and clip that tinsel off. At this point I like to leave the legs a little bit longer, leave them long right here. That way I can come in and with my marker, in this case brown, I'm just going to hit that top. And then I'm going to use my UV resin. I'm going to use my Deer Creek Diamond Fine with a little bodkin here. I'm going to lay that right up on the top there. So I can place that where I need it to be. Depending on how much you want on there, you can, it's a little heavy, so about right there. Put a little bit right back here too. And then hit that right there. Cure that with the UV resin with the light and put it on there for a few seconds. Once that UV resin cures, come right behind that wing case there. You're going to cut those legs just like that. And that's the tungsten beaded Slim Shady with 2 tungsten beads in there in the thorax. And great dropper, great lead fly for low water. And this one again is with those tails, the Coq de Leon. You can put whatever tailing you want on there. Just change it up, change the wing case on you a little bit, so you can play around with it, work with whatever you need it to look like, and fish it hard. And it'll sink down to the bottom, be right where you need it to be. Thank you again.